artists, creatives, designers, welcome to DreamAloud Art. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Washi Washoy. Yes, and and actually, I want to do one more thing since I gave this intro. Okay, I jumped on and then everybody started jumping on too. So let me pin that comment right there. Folks, if you're just coming through and you're just browsing around, poking around, you're like, what are these two people talking about? What is this all about? Go ahead and follow me at DreamAloud Art, y'all. Go ahead and follow me and then click the link in the bio and subscribe on YouTube so you can see these full interviews. Okay, y'all? IGTV only holds 15 minutes. And you know 15 minutes is not enough, okay? So make sure you subscribe. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow our guest today, Washi Washoy. His his tag is in the pinned comment below. So make sure you go ahead and do that, all right? So let's go ahead and dive right into some things. So for the people who are viewing and they don't know anything about you at all, what can you tell them? Like, who are you? And I do this because most people have a lot more. It's not like a one and a two thing. So who are you? What do you do? What is your passion? What are your passion projects? What is the main chunk of something you want someone to know?
Okay. I'm Washi. I would like to, first and foremost, that is like summarize myself in anything.
Yes.
I am a creative content, or I'm a content creator. I'm a general creative. I have mastered the art of successfully falling forward into crazy positions and opportunities. I work in a lot of fan films, Unworthy Productions, a wild experience. I'm a concept designer for them, an illustrator for them, voice actor as well. And part of that production team. Okay. I like being part of production, so that's pretty much the bulk of what I do, I guess. Any facet of it.
Okay, now, folks, all right, viewers, okay, I want y'all to get a little background as far as what has brought us to this point. So I jumped in on a live with Avedes, and I follow, his name is Maso Art. It's one of those two. You were on a live. Washi was on a live with him, okay, and I heard Washi's voice, okay? Wait, I heard his voice. And it just sounded like you had so much energy, like you were so charged up. I was like, who is this? Because I trust everything that Avedes does, which he is on the live right now. Everything that he does, like, I pay attention to. You know, I really do pay attention to it. And so I was like, let me go to Washi's page and see who this guy is. And I watched some of the videos and I was like, I like his energy. I love your work. I was like, okay, all right, well, maybe I can go ahead and follow and then just start, DMing and starting the message history going on. So yeah, that's what has brought us to this point. So upon looking at your page, Unworthy Productions, what's Unworthy Productions? I was wondering, I was like, oh, what exactly is Unworthy Productions? And I went and looked. So educate our viewers on what that is.
So Unworthy and UP will be a shorthand for it if I use that at some point.
Sure. Okay.
Unworthy is what happens when you get a bunch of really passionate people who are seeking learning. A bunch of dumb nerds. Some of us are martial artists. Okay. I mean, we know what we're about. That's okay.
I know. I'm just
big dumb goobers, and you can tell my boss I said that. I'm
okay
at the Blur division. A bunch of creatives who get together. So we have people who are strictly acting. We have people who are martial artists who enjoy this idea. And one of our biggest things, and the thing that we're mainly working on, is a Power Rangers film. And episode 3 went up earlier this year sometime. 2020 has been 8 months long. I can't remember when this year it came out. I think January. But it's now at like 1.8 million views. And it's like, what?
Oh, mercy.
So that's super wild.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, so we're working together. We have voice actors, we have actors, we have costume makers, we have people who are so thrilled to be a part of production and make production quality content. Right. And we're just happy to live in a time where anyone with enough gumption can get a hold of production quality stuff. So it's
that's the truth. Yeah.
and we've kind of rolled into kind of forming a bit of a community around ourselves, and trying to make sure we nurture that and keep that going. And
Yeah, that's
I saw
critical.
Style Tourist in chat saying this is a family, and it really is.
Right, right. I see that. Yeah.
They like we love each other. We talk to each other all the time. Not all of us all of the time, but like we that
Right.
like any family, you need distance.
Sure, sure. But it sounds like just a trustworthy community of, so I don't know how many people, but just a very trustworthy, close
Yeah,
knit. It sounds close knit,
it certainly is.
which is important.
It's crazy to this day, and it hasn't quite sunken in, if I'm being honest with you.
Really? All right.
It really hasn't, you know.
Mm. And
Um,
maybe that's and what well, and I wonder what exactly would that be for it to be sunk in completely, because at least it keeps you kind of, keeps you humble. I
yeah,
think maybe that's what I want to say, and
I
that's pretty incredible with those kind of numbers. So
I like
it's
being
important.
surprised by the fact that people like what I do or what we do as a group,
Mm, mm.
because I mean, I think it's important that we all have an accurate appraisal of our own skills and our own
Okay.
capabilities. I think I'm a pretty good artist, right? But the fact that someone can look at my work and go,
Amazing.
I love what you just did right
Yes.
there. I'm going to
Yes.
draw fan art of what you did. I want to put my spin on it. You've inspired me and driven me
Right.
to this direction. And it's like,
Right.
I'm just sitting here eating a cookie, dog. Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
Right, but that's true. And sometimes, even as a host, as an interviewer, I like to put things into perspective with the artists that I actually reach out to and let them know that they've inspired me and you've inspired me to bring us to this point. I mean, it's not like I'm just shooting out, all kinds of messages to everybody saying, hey, let's get in on an interview. It's like, I feel like this individual could provide some content that somebody is going to find very valuable. So yeah, you never know. You never
I
know.
appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. So now that we've learned a little bit more about UP, okay, I'm gonna be in with the cool kids. I'm gonna say
We got to use
UP.
the cooling. We're going to pop our lapels here. We're going to be real cool kids. Perfect. I'm going to put that back down,
Right.
actually. There we
So
go.
now that we've learned a little more about UP, let's take a trip back. So when did you realize that you really wanted to hone in on your creativity, or has it always been like that for you? Or was there a pivotal point where you're just like, you know what, I'm tired of keeping this under wraps. I'm going to go hard with it. Like, what has that journey been like for you?
Little column A, little column B.
Oh, okay.
I've always been creative. Like when I was younger, the job I wanted was architect, because in
Mm-mm.
1990, whatever, that was the only job I could think of that involved drawing,
Drawing.
right?
Okay. Okay.
Any, like, the cartoons I watched, people don't draw those. They just exist.
Okay.
And then I kind of went
Right,
through
right.
and drew things and just drew and kept drawing ever since I could hold a pencil. And
Mm.
then I would just love being a theatrical person, I guess you could say. I learned
Okay.
that I was a theatrical person anyway, working at a church. And my mom was like
Mm.
big on the information desk section of the church. And if you've ever been there, that means you are subject to be voluntold for everything. Um, so it was like, Washi, you're a bubbly person. Come here. Be on stage crew. I'm like, sure. So I was on stage crew. And
Wait,
one
wait,
time, one of
wait.
our,
I'm sorry. Hold on. Washi is your real name?
yeah,
Really?
it is
That
a
is
shortening of my
so
surname,
cool.
Washington, but it's Washi. Yeah.
That is so awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Get back to what you were saying. All right.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
Washi, you're super cool. We like you. Whatever. You're funny. So one of our fog machines on stage left, stage right, sorry, was
Mm-hmm.
broken. It wasn't receiving the signal to actually display the fog. So we needed someone to be down there, and I was assistant stage manager at the time. And okay, cool. So I'm gonna go on stage right, and I'm gonna lay down next to the live band. This is gonna be a great experience, and we're all gonna love it. And the dancers, who at the time I was real bitter about, but they were in their own heads and had their own responsibilities they had to worry about, were kicking me the entire time. Like, stop it!
What?
And I'm wearing all black, but
Oh,
I had my headset on and I heard the cue to cue the fog.
okay.
Well,
Okay.
that was the first time I ever got to see the audience. look at
Mm.
what we were doing. I mean, when you're acting, when you're on stage, you're in your scene. You may glance at the audience, but you don't get to actually study them and look
See,
at them,
right,
be
right,
taken
right,
away. This
right. Okay.
moment right here, music swelled up, dancers came out, fog rolled in, and everyone was enraptured. They were taken
Mm.
away by it. And I saw that, and I knew that I wanted to perform that magic trick for the rest of my life.
Oh,
Because
wow.
if you can take someone from one location where they are and make them forget that, you're doing a magic trick. And it was
Mm.
that moment where I just knew, got it. So I
Wow.
went into,
Very pivotal.
I started, doing college or high school stuff, and then went to college for animation. Uh,
Did you?
yeah, I have right here my handy dandy bachelor's degree that's underneath my window and not in any display whatsoever. Uh, it's holding up my wall. It's doing a great job.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Okay, but I have a lot of respect for that as far as animation is concerned.
yeah, 3D
Jeez,
animation,
that's
2D
intense.
animation. Yeah, yeah. Which has afforded me a different perspective on media and
Right.
the content I create. Um, and also develop some personal pet peeves that I have to stave off sometimes when people say certain things. Like, that's a good pose. And it's like,
Just relax. Look, you don't,
it's,
they
it's
don't
like,
know the lingo. It depends on who they are, though. But it's like, okay,
thank you.
relax.
My mom is proud. Nailed it.
Oh my
Mama
God.
Washi is out here looking out for me.
Okay. Oh wow, because I mean, especially when it comes to animation, like, well, what programs do you use? Like, how
Yes.
does everything? Have you
Uh,
tried everything
I haven't tried everything, of course, but there is
or
a
a
whole
lot of it?
gamut of things, and there's some crossover, some things that are off and on. One
Okay.
software, Maya, is a 3D modeling and animation software that
Okay.
I have a lot of choice things to say about. Um,
Okay. All right.
it
It's not
is
favorable.
you're painting with a forklift,
Oh my
but
God.
boy golly, if you can drive that forklift, you're doing some great stuff. There's
Okay.
Mudbox, which is Maya, but for more sculpting, if you will.
Okay. Okay.
There's Toon Boom Studio, which is
Oh, yeah, I've
a
heard of that. Right. Right.
okay, yeah, Toon Boom. There's
Hmm.
various other programs that have animation capabilities. So
Man.
it's
Okay.
definitely difficult.
So my experience with animation was it took me maybe about 5 hours to create 3 seconds of motion, and I was like, "This is for someone. It's not for me, but it's for somebody else."
I hate how you
Like
said three
after,
seconds and my brain cued into the math of how many frames that is.
oh my gosh, oh
For those of
oh
you who don't know,
Lord,
most animation you see is at 24, 30 frames per second. That means
yes,
34
yes,
individual
frames
drawing,
per
or
second.
excuse me, 24
Mm-hmm.
individual drawings,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes means 12 because you're animating on twos for timing things, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Hey, Raquel. I have chat down here as well. I'm looking at
Yes,
it.
right, of course.
So things like that are
Whew.
happening, and that's a
But the
whole
finished
thing.
product, I mean, when you really set your mind to it,
Oh yeah,
I
when you're
mean,
done, it's
it's so
great,
right.
and then you take about 25 seconds away from it. You go get yourself a Pop Tart, and you come back and sit down, and then you realize what you've just made is the hottest piece of garbage known to man. Everyone else is amazed by it, and you're just,
Everyone. But you know what? Isn't it like that for artists in general? Like, especially if someone is not dabbling in that or it's not their forte, then almost anything that artists
yeah,
do, they can find it pretty creative and amazing. And they're just like, wow, that's awesome. And you're looking at it like, this is not the best that I can do.
that's something in all facets of artwork, really, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Like with
right.
myself,
That's
I can
right.
certainly be my own hard critique, but any artist at any level has a different set of eyes and a different brain in their
That's
noggin
exactly.
that is going to
Exactly.
permit
The
them
whole
to
point of
see
view.
something and do something that I not only can I not do it, I wouldn't have done it
Right. Right.
because that's amazing to me. They're artists
Mm-hmm.
who follow me and I'll see their work and I'm like, not like you may not be at my level because I put in 10 billion hours. You're at hour 300.
Right.
You're not going to be where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Or you might be. Who knows? Which,
Yeah, it's like, what
bitter
is the
about that, but
goal?
whatever.
What is their goal? Like, I mean, people have
Yeah.
different things that they want to do too. So, respect to that. So, let's rewind here as far as your, the pivotal moment where you realized you really wanted to hone in on a newfound craft or something that, you know, was pretty new to you. When you started moving in that direction, did you have people who were extremely supportive of what you wanted to do?
My mother has been nothing but a giant support.
Oh, that's so
and
good. That's
it's a unique kind of support, right? Mad shouts to my mom.
Yeah, shout outs to her.
She wasn't the person who was like, okay, cool, go for it. It was more, convince me. Not necessarily because she needed to be convinced to support me, but if I could convince her that what I'm doing is the right thing for me, then she's with it. You know what I mean? Then I'm clearly going somewhere with it.
At least she's willing to have the conversation with you before rejecting anything.
It happened. That similar thing from like when I was 7 years old, started getting an allowance. I went from wanting everything in the toy store to wanting that one. Okay. But I remember there was one toy in particular. I remember the toy to this day. I'm not going to say it because it's going to show how much of a big dumb nerd I am.
Oh, no.
And I have pride.
All right,
but I was like, Mom, I want this one. And she was like, why should you have it? And I started selling her the toy. You know what I mean? Not selling her onto why I should have it. And that was a thing she told me, no, you have to learn how to negotiate, how to sell, how to play that game. And that's been a huge thing for me. So with her supporting me, it's been like, I want to do this. Why do you want to do that? This. Got it. Let's go.
Nice. I think that's creative on her side of the house too. But I mean, it really, really shaped your idea of what you had to do as far as communicating with her, and influencing
certainly
her, perhaps. That's what's up.
Mom was a paralegal, and she raised me as such.
Okay.
It very much was you did something wrong, and if you got caught, I want you to recognize that it was your fault. So you have two choices: stop being bad or don't get caught. And I said, silly woman, I'll do both.
Oh my God.
I won't do bad things, and I also won't get caught for the things I do. I'm clever.
I'm done. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, big shout out to a lot of people. They're putting their comment of shout out to your mom, most definitely. And some folks are suddenly having cravings for Pop-Tarts. Thank you for that, because you didn't mention that.
I drive to inspire. That's my Hi, I'm Washi. I work for Kellogg's, actually. I don't like that I knew that Kellogg's makes Pop-Tarts off the top of my head like that, but hey, whatever.
Oh, Lordy B. Okay, so that's amazing about your mom. And what were some of the challenges that you had? Any challenges, even if it was you against you, but what challenges have you had?
There was a time in like 4th grade where I didn't draw. And then 5th grade, I picked it back up, and I was bad. And I felt that was less than what I was. So I was like, I can't stop doing this ever again. Yeah. But it was just one of those, I stopped drawing because me in 4th grade, I was 10 years old. And for anyone else who was around my age, I'm 26. Okay. I just had a birthday. Had to remember.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. It was March 29th. Yeah. It was super cool. Anyone it was like 2004, and anyone when they're in like 10 years old, around that age, being a nerd is not cool. Nowadays, maybe it's cool if you're 10, but it wasn't cool. And me having zero self-identity and no kind of self-actualization was like, well, I want to be cool because those guys seem happy. Yes. And I was like, I'm not going to draw because that's dumb. But it was really boring. Okay. So that was a hardship that I definitely encountered. There's also like the self-defeat of the fear of failure. And I have a series, not to plug myself, but I have a series called The Washi Diary, and I haven't updated it in like 3 weeks because
I encourage plugs.
Everything.
I encourage plugs.
Because like everything going on right now is like, what am I going to talk about? I'm gonna stream a lot more and just keep people here, and we're gonna hang out. When this is all done, then we'll have The Washi Diary again. But it's a place where I talk about a lot of my deeper thoughts, some of the traumas I went throughout my life, but I definitely talk about the fear of failure and how nothing beats a failure but a try. And if you're afraid of failing from that effort, you've already defeated yourself.
That's right.
So I'd rather try and fail 1,000 times than never try, right?
Right.
And it's something that we all can definitely strive to. Thank you, Style, for the birthday wish.
Yeah.
It's just that was a whole thing, and I deal with it today. You know, I think we all do in some way. Like, I want to try this, but what if it doesn't work out?
Mm.
And then to that point, you have to kind of go the next step and say, and what if it doesn't work out?
Then, yeah, exactly.
Whatever, right?
Which can
You
kind
learn
of quiet
something,
that
take
voice.
something from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could kind of bring it to a pause and say,
If
okay.
you gained knowledge from an experience, it wasn't a failure.
That's right.
Like, diametrically, it can't be.
There you go.
So,
that's the truth. That's the truth. And a lot of folks, sometimes we need those reminders too. It's like, oh, I know that. But then we come across another situation and where we have that inner conversation. It's like,
yeah.
oh gosh, I don't know if I want to do that. And it's I'd say it's constant. It's not something where you're ever going to just reach this point where you're like, I don't have any kind of fears or doubts. I'm good.
I have ascended into a new world. Behold me.
Yes.
No, it's nah.
Right.
We're all gonna beat ourselves down sometimes.
Yeah, it's all in how you respond to it. Okay, shout out to you. So I'm curious. About the voice acting. How do you get to be a voice actor?
Well, we're gonna start at the core. It's a really good question. We're gonna start at the core.
Do.
Point one, you have to be a lonely kid. Step two, you have to play with toys.
I cannot.
And be real bored a lot. All right, those are important steps. You need that, and then you get yourself equipment. Okay, you get yourself some equipment right here.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Wait, all right.
But
Why do you say that about you have to be a lonely kid? What?
Listen, you're playing with toys, and I'm not gonna bust out the stuff I have scattered across my desk. You can see behind me; those aren't fake.
I can see it.
I
see it.
But then you start kind of playing with your toys, and then you start making up characters for your toys, and you're just doing some stuff like that. But then you start actually learning about it. And there was a voice actor named Gary Chalk, who we all know from the voice of Optimus Prime from 1996 onward to like 2005. Big dumb nerd here. And he said that your voice reverberates through about 7 different places throughout your body. So you're learning where to go in your voice. So this is my normal speaking voice, but we can drop it down here if we need to, and then change it. And then for certain voices, say the arbiter, learning accents and what to reverberate. Changing your voice like this is simple, but then raising up a little higher, then we add textures to it. So then we can go back a little further. Wow. And you would think that this is actually hurting my voice. It's not. We can go a bit deeper and a bit lower and change it to here. So now we're sounding a bit different. And then we can raise it all the way up here and talk like this if we really want to. My voice is a little scratchy right now, so I can't get as high as I can get, but hey.
Well, I wouldn't know the difference. This is one of those moments where I'm like, everything is amazing.
Only child. So then we become, they're talking about the Arbiter voice, and that's my character that I play in Unworthy.
Right.
And the Arbiter is full of all the pomp and circumstance. Certainly when it comes to voicing characters, you want to learn who that character is. The Arbiter is someone who is so enriched and entitled by his own beliefs.
Okay.
Pretty much he tried something, it worked out, and he was like, well, I guess I got to destroy all these things. So he often sounds tired of it. Right? Because he's not here trying to convince you that he's the villain. He's done this. He's cut a sway through every villain on the planet, or every hero in every dimension. So why in God's name is he going to think that you're special?
Right.
Power Rangers of Earth 218, you have been deemed unworthy. Whoa. And that's, I gotta feel comfortable. Hold on. And then you do things like that. You channel your voice a bit deeper. You sound above it all. There's a line that Jordan Barnett, the Blur Division, our boss at Unworthy, the writer, wrote, and it's my favorite thing to like sound or for display. But you turn children into gods and expect there to be no consequences. Hubris. Then for the good of the innocent life you claim to protect.
Oh my God.
It's this whole thing where he's just talking mad smack on all the things. So there you go.
Wow. Okay, you're totally wowing everybody now. Okay, somebody said Someone says that they thought their phone got possessed for a moment.
It'd be like that though.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, wait. So besides being a lonely kid and everything else, but honestly, how does somebody get into that? Like, how do they say? Now, I'm asking yes because I'm curious, but and I'm during these interviews, I'm hollering a little bit, okay, because I'm a little distant from my iPad, but folks always tell me about my voice. Like, they always tell me, they're like, oh, you have the perfect radio voice, or oh, your voice is so soothing, and da 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 da. So I'm really curious. Like, I wonder what else I could possibly do with my normal voice. I'm kind of speaking louder right now, but yeah, just my normal voice. So how exactly, voice acting?
There are a few different steps and places to go to be a good voice actor.
I would think
so. Because every single person on the planet, and this is going to sound like a kind of weird, douchey celebrity thing to say.
Okay.
I'm aware of that, but it's a hard reality. Right. Everyone does an impression of their favorite character. Every single person will say that. And some will be good, some won't be. But that right there is emblematic of copying someone else's solution, not their work to get there. Think about the math of it, right?
Okay.
You do someone's math homework, you fill in their answers, but they don't know how you got to that answer. Which is why your teachers say, show your work.
Ooh.
So people will do the arbiter's voice at me, but they don't know the layers that I go through to get to his voice. What does that character sound like? Finding that, and even doesn't have to be a character with so much nuance like that. You having a radio voice, because you do have a great voice, it is finding out who you are as a radio personality. This right here is very much a speaking voice. I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Harsh truth. It's not like I'm faking or anything like that, but this is very much presentation. If I were to be speaking to you in a more candid manner, hey, how you doing? It's less there.
No, I understand. I see exactly what you're talking about. I do. Yeah.
With that, go through your own self-discovery, if you will. Find some stuff out. Like go through, where is your voice? This is your voice. This is my voice right here. Okay, cool. So this is my voice, and I'm talking, I'm engaging, I'm being fun, having a good time. Radio, cool, great. This is how I sound presenting. Now let's go a little higher. Okay, so we're a little higher. We're talking to kids now. We're talking to people in a bit lighter of a context, making sure that they feel great. We're going to slow it down a little bit, pull our voices to the back of our throat, and now we're going to talk a bit softer. But we're still in that high place, but we're a little softer now, okay? Just making sure you guys are really good. But then we're going to bring it a little, lower, and we're going to bring in the dad voice, right? Hey,
authority,
we're going to bring more authority to our voice.
Right.
A bit more sternness, a bit sharper. We're going to land on our words a bit, with a bit more intent. We're going to plant our feet, if you will.
I'm with that. So I am definitely seeing the differences here. What you do, okay, as a voice actor, and then what I've gotten responses for is pretty much just keeping my normal voice. It's not exactly, like voice acting kind of suggestions or even my own ideas of what to do with that, because the first thing that I'm thinking is that I wouldn't go into trying to change my voice, unless perhaps, I was dropping it a little lower, but I wouldn't exactly, I'm seeing the differences now. That's what I'm saying, that I'm
certainly
understanding some differences, like your normal tone, and as opposed to changing it up and acting. That to me is like a transition where I'd have to learn to do a lot of things. Okay, right. I respect
it's
that.
like
okay.
You've been in a car before, to going to a place that you've driven, but you were the passenger this time, for instance, right?
Right.
And while you're the passenger, you're looking around and you're noticing things that you didn't notice because you were driving. Because you're, of course, driving.
Okay.
You're putting yourself in the passenger seat and objectively looking at what it is that you're doing with your voice as you speak. You're kind of staying mindful of it. What words do you flub on? The irony, I have to say the word Power Ranger a lot. And the WER of power and the RAN of Ranger become one sound. And all the time when I'm recording, the Power Ranger is one word. And it's like, no, pause. That's the thing that I notice in myself. From there, record some stuff. Get goofy, get dumb. I have some Joker audio.
Joker.
Of me doing my own interpretation of the way the Joker sounds.
Wow.
And it's very up here. It's up here. It's slightly playing around and rolling more R's and dropping down as we need to. But then staying up here and more lively. Having a bit of fun, if you will.
Oh my gosh. I feel like
learning
I need to cash app you every time you do it. I'm like, I need to cash app.
Cash app, $WashyW. No. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and smash that like button.
I love it, and our viewers love it too. They're
it's
like,
just
that's crazy.
Yeah. So you put stuff out there, and then you go in for auditions. You find out like there are things. There's I can't think of the name of it for the life of me right now. There's a website where a bunch of artists are on, and people go up there and book artists, voice recording, whatever, for things. I can't think of the name of it. If someone in chat says it out. Why so serious? I saw it in chat, so I had to. And then if you look at people like to do a Heath Ledger Joker impression. Heath Ledger was doing an impression of a dude named Tom Waits, I believe his name is, who very much sounds like this. This is how he spoke, and he was a really cool guy. He had a cigarette out of his hand the entire time. Real this kind of guy. So then you add a little bit of Joker into that. So people always ask me what it is that I'm doing here, and I don't know. And and you find that place, and then you're taking the math and you're finding your own answer to the equation. That's Fiverr. Thank you, Moss.
I see. I got you. Fiverr.
It's Fiverr.
Oh my gosh.
So you're keeping appraised of all that stuff, and after having a bit of a demo reel, if you will, and content up and work that shows what you can do, people will contact you. You can put yourself out there. And it's really weird because not many people are too terribly self-conscious about their voices, but you find out that you actually are. Oh boy, you learn that real quick.
And then you become conscious of your.
Because now voice. I'm numb to the sound of my own voice. I'm used to it.
Right.
But when I first heard my own voice, it's like, I am so sorry, everyone.
What?
You have to hear this. You didn't ask for this, but here we are. So
I'm done. Well, you have really educated all of us, I mean, you really have. I've learned quite a bit, and this has answered all of the initial questions that I've had about something like that with voice acting and what exactly that consists of. Well, shout out to you. We do appreciate that. We really do. That was great.
There's also, I'm realizing now you asked me that, a lot of my life really set me up for this. There's also learning your equipment, your distances. There are certain lines that I can't deliver. Like certain lines for the Arbiter when I'm recording, I'm right here on the mic, right?
Okay,
I'm right here.
The distance.
Because he kind of speaks in a dull whisper. Because he's not starting these people. He's not bothering with them. Look, they mean nothing. He is effectively everyone's black grandma. I have no time for you. We're from Virginia. We both understand. I have no time for you. You smell like outdoors. Get out of here. You're bothering. But then there are times where I have to back away from the mic because of all that. And that comes from my time working in a sound booth for another branch of that same church. I was pretty much AV director, making sure lights and sounds were queued up the way they needed to be.
Okay. Which I'm sure you learned quite a bit from that.
Yeah, you learn terms and things like that. You learn the feel of things.
Okay.
And the ear for certain stuff. Like what sounds right, what doesn't. Oh, I definitely peaked there. And there's stuff that stuff that was released that I hear that you guys would never hear, that I hate, but it was a great take. It was a perfectly fine take, and I like they used that one. Why did they use that take? That take was bad. Why? I didn't even use words good there.
Okay. You have me crying over here. So this is exactly why I don't wear mascara ever for interviews. I never do that because it's a mistake. It's a tragic mistake. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for that feedback, which is amazing. We're going to go into the questions, Q&A, see what folks have. I think sometimes folks will run their questions throughout the comments, but we're at least going to see what the stack of cards has for us. Okay.
Sure.
So let's take a moment and look at that. Okay, Cassian has a question here. when you accomplish your goals, what would be the ultimate gift for her? I think he's probably talking about your mom, being that she's such a pivotal, let me read the rest, it's a pivotal part of your life.
I think.
Thank you, Cassian.
I don't think I could give my mother a gift, anything physical. It will be me looking at her and saying, look, I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be the accomplishments in itself.
Like, look what you were a huge instrumental part of creating. Look at this. Look at this entire world around me.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Just giving her that, I feel, is what I could do. I don't think there's anything that I could do, anything I could draw, anything, anything I could draw, anything material, certainly.
Right.
That, like, right. I could give her and go, look, Mom, you're great. You know?
Okay. Right.
Like, I have a respectful reverence of my mother, I think, as a lot of us do.
Same here.
I saw a Black Panther thing behind you, so you saw the film. We all saw, I think, a lot of us saw, certainly brown people. I guess everyone, I have no idea. But I know I saw, and a lot of the Black men that I've spoken to about it in particular, saw a lot of their mother in Angela Bassett's character. Just as a lot of that same energy of, yes, ma'am, you don't know my mama, but you're going to call her. Or, you know, there's a lot of that maternal essence, the great all-mother that is there. And that's like, I couldn't give anything back to that worth anything beyond saying, look, I did it. That's all I got.
Yeah, being your greatest version of yourself, I'd say is a gift in itself.
Perfect wording,
That's beautiful. Okay, cool. Good question, Cassian. We got a couple more up in here. Let's see. Okay, one from Alanosis. What advice would you give upcoming artists? Okay, they are inspired by you and they're like, yo, how can I get on that level?
Okay, fail a bunch. Look at I'm gonna get a little heady, so forgive me. Okay. For every success that any of you have ever seen of me, there are 1,000 failures. 1,000 failures. In different ways that you guys might not notice, because you can't see someone slip on the rocks when they're 8 miles in the sky. Who knows? But our climbs are all different, and you learn something new. Strive to fail a different way. In college, I had a teacher named Mr. Cooley, and he's made a lot of Super Bowl commercials. There's one with like the shark with the Dorito fin or whatever fish things, and the alligator. He made that one. It's a whole thing. There may or may not be a friend of mine messaging me on Discord about my comments here, but I strove to make sure. I strove to make sure that he would never come. Whenever he came over to like troubleshoot or whatever's going on, he would have to sit down and actually look at it. It would never be a come over. You don't have that button pushed. Right, you know, it'd always be I failed in a way that you didn't expect. That means I'm learning something new. I'm doing something. I'm trying something right. I'm accomplishing something here. Gotcha. And it's just been a long series of failing upwards and trying my best to learn from each and every mistake.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's powerful and very well said. It really is. And when people have asked me, well, how long has, this, whatever it is, I've been working on, like, how long has that been in the making? It's like, all my life, man. Are you serious? Because all of those steps, my life, your life has brought you to this point right now. So whatever you've been learning and growing from, I get it. It makes you who you are.
Certainly.
Okay, let's look at one more question. One more.
Sure.
Let's see. As an artist, this is from Moss Brethen. As an artist, do you have an end goal you want to achieve, or is that goal constantly changing? It's a little lengthy. I wanted to go ahead and read it.
No,
constantly changing.
I don't think I have an end goal at all. Thanks, Moss. I don't think I have an end goal. Swell guy, that guy.
Okay.
I don't think I have an end goal at all. I don't think I can possibly wrap my head around what that would be. The second I think I've made it, I won't go further. So I can't possibly permit myself to think that I've hit an end goal. there are goals along the way that I want to hit, right? Like our subscriber or our follower counts, our subscriber counts. It's like, yeah, I want to hit that goal, but it's not like, all right, guys, thanks for 5,000 subscribers or followers on
Yes.
Instagram. I'll catch you later. Bye,
Mm-hmm.
we're out.
It's not
No,
the end all. It's not
it's
the
like,
end all be
well,
all, right? Mm.
okay, cool. We have a bigger piece of the pie. Let's keep growing. Let's see what else we can do.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's certainly an ever changing
Yeah, because
goalpost.
we're constantly evolving. We're just that's
Oh
that's
yeah.
just part of the process. We evolve and things change and we adapt and we have different goals and you so yeah, good. That was a good answer. Thank you so much. Hey,
If I can say this, if maybe
sure.
this is a better answer to the question.
What you got?
Uh, I always work to make 10-year-old me proud.
Mm,
So like
mm.
10-year-old me is losing his mind in the fact that I get to my job is to draw Power Rangers.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah,
So I
exactly.
mean,
Sure.
I didn't have that
That's
goal at
wonderful.
15.
Mm.
I
Wait,
didn't.
you what?
I didn't have that goal at 15.
Okay, right.
I couldn't have. I didn't have it at
See,
20.
this is
So
what I'm saying. This is
new
what I'm
stuff.
saying. And that's part of evolving. I wouldn't have thought that I'd be doing interviews about a year ago. Heck, I wouldn't just totally wouldn't have thought about it. But sometimes,
Yeah,
things work out there the way they're supposed to. And that's because you open yourself up. I know I've opened myself up,
absolutely.
right, to trying different things. And you're like, okay, that doesn't fit me. You try animation.
Mm-hmm.
I try animation. I'm like, okay, that's for Washi or somebody. But it's part of just being honest with yourself, but trying something. It's
Mm-hmm.
trying and seeing where you go with it.
Most
All
certainly.
right. Yeah. Thank you for answering the viewers' questions, Washi.
Of
So we're
course.
going to move into reverse roles. Do you have any questions for me?
I
Kind
do.
sir.
I was thinking about it. You sent me uh, the general itinerary of how this would go, so I wanted to make
Yes.
sure I had questions and not just
Yes.
sitting here going, "Nah, man," because that would be a
Not
real
that
bad
no one's
play.
done that before. Oh, Lordy me. It has happened. And
It's
they're
like,
like,
oh, great.
what do you
Thanks,
have?
champ. What your position here is something that I've definitely thought about a lot of being the lighthouse for artists, if you will,
Okay.
if I may be poetic.
I like that.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know what content you yourself, like your artwork you create, but it is a certain responsibility and a certain effort in and of itself um, to curate, if you will, the collection that you have on your page. And scrolling through it, I've seen artists, I've followed a lot of them whose work is like, I admire that. Wow.
Right.
And it's this really great hangout of a bunch of artists who are like, you make lines so good. I make lines you color so amazingly. And it's like we're trading baseball cards, if you will. And it's something so special. Like what happened? How did you get to there?
Okay. Still not really sure how necessarily, but I will say this is where it goes back. I've tried so many different things creatively. I mean, from ceramics to sculpture to painting to photography to animation. I've tried so many different things. And it's gotten to that point where not only do I realize I love all of these areas, but I asked myself, well, how many people out here are actually showing that consistent love for the artists? Different, we'll say, I'll just use YouTube, okay? Different folks on YouTube. Usually when they highlight an artist, a particular artist has reached some point in their career where they're like established, or they have this long laundry list of accomplishments. And well, what about, the dope artist, if you will? Because I know it's perspective, but what about the dope artist who's living at home with their parents and they're 16 years old? What about
Certainly.
that, people who have their own personal accomplishments, they just haven't had it, up in a gallery somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to I can't even say that I really just chose to do it. It's just something that kind of flowed. I just started reposting everybody's work, like on, the story posts and things like that. And I just love it. I freaking love art, and I just believe artists should have more shine. It just should have more shine. because I'm an artist myself, and it's like, you know what, every time I connect with artists, I always see a little piece of me. I always see a little piece of me in them. So yeah. I guess that's the
it's
heart
just
of it.
something so beautiful.
That's cool. Thank
Like,
you.
and something that I've definitely started doing myself is like, hey, I know this people, this person does great work. Check this out, guys.
Right.
Um,
That's
like,
great. That's really
like
good. And
it's
that's the point, you know. I think that's just the purpose. Is I've gotten some offers from people to blog for them and all kinds of stuff. And
that's awesome.
if it's not, and it's appreciated, but if it's not in alignment with consistently supporting artists, period, not just one artist and blogging for one artist, it's like, no, you know, I want to be able to be as flexible as possible. And so I've had to, you know, respectfully decline, because this is like the foundation, you know, this is, it's all artists, you know, so you got to
It's
uplift all of
so
us.
brilliant.
Yay.
I've seen other artists, and I don't call myself the police by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
KRS-One wouldn't have it, but proud of that one. Didn't think I would weasel that one in today, but I did.
Okay.
I wouldn't call myself the police or anything like that, but I've definitely seen other people's artwork, and I would leave a comment just because see that, oh, where's the tag? Or I've actively not liked posts or have liked something and like, wait a minute, is that the artist, or is that, no, you're sharing artwork. We're going to
Yes.
unlike that, and we're going to go, oh, wow,
Yes.
this is
Yep.
really cool. Who's the artist?
Mm-hmm.
Or if I know the artist, it's like, hey, yeah, like, for instance, like this didn't happen, but yo, Maso,
Yeah, right,
check this out, you know, or
Yeah.
something like that. Or I've seen my own artwork. I was going through stuff, and I'm like, my signature's in the corner, but you cropped it up just a little bit. And then it was a post that I figured it would happen to. Yep. So like on the chest of the character, I like have super light opacity, really small. If you zoom in, you'll see it, but just my logo. And I went in, I was like, yeah, hey man, so like, listen, that either credit me or take it down, my guy.
Right.
And then their account wasn't there anymore, and I'm like, I didn't mean for that to happen, but
but it ain't like
good work for a hard day. All right.
No, I totally get it. And that's why, like, our company is called RTA, which is Respect the Artist. Like, respect, like that is all we're about, is you give the respect to those creatives. Like, that's it. So we're gonna move forward, because I want to close it, and you know, we have like 5 minutes left here before like these things actually just close out on themselves. So,
oh, I know, I stream a whole bunch.
Oh, you do? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do appreciate your question, Washi. So I'm gonna just do a little part of a word game here. Okay, I always close out with something a little fun. Okay, and I'm interested in your responses. So this is a different kind of word game, where I give you the name of a celebrity, and you tell me something that you believe they either carry in their pocket at all times or their purse, male, female, whatever, but they just have it on them. Okay. Are you
Let's
ready?
go. Let's do it. Let's go.
Do it. Okay, the very first person is Beyonce. What does Beyonce have on her? What?
Blistex. Chapstick at all times. Okay. Am I wrong?
Okay. Beyonce's got Blistex, y'all, at all times. All right,
can't be chapped out here in these streets, man. Can't be caught. Can't be caught lacking.
I'm with that. I am with it. The next person is Kanye West. What does Kanye West
Aluminum
have?
foil.
Why?
My brain tells me that Kanye West has some weird belief about aluminum foil and how it is the true secret for us to really unify and understand the shiny reflectiveness and encapsulation of our lives.
And I believe it.
Or some such Kanye West-ism. I don't know, man.
If he had aluminum foil on him, he'd say something that, I don't know. It would be.
This is the new specimen for Donald Trump's own personal Yeezys. What? What?
Oh, mercy. Okay. All right. I knew it. I knew this would happen. All right. The next person is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, what does he have on him? The Rock at all times. What does he have?
I think Dwayne the John Roxon always has sunglasses.
I believe that.
Always has sunglasses because
Cool
now
shades.
he's like managed for the last few years to really trick people to think that his name is Dwayne Johnson. But you and I definitely know him as the people's champion, Rocky Maivia, the blue chipper. Can you smell? Anyway, as Dwayne Johnson, as The Rock. And the man would always have the strongest smack talk, chewing hard on some gum with sunglasses. And that, you know he has it. Protein powder? Nah.
Oh my God.
Moyashi says Kevin Hart. He always has Kevin Hart in his pocket.
Kevin Hart in his pocket. The Rock has Kevin Hart in his pocket.
A1.
That's
Top tier.
a good one. Oh mercy. Okay, and the last person. Oh my gosh. If it wasn't for the paper shortage at the grocery store, I would have some tissue next to me, but the paper products are wiped clean. All right, the last person is Lady Gaga. What is Lady Gaga having on her at all times?
My brain went 3 places at the same time. Okay, we're gonna go through each of them because I have to.
Okay.
She has an iPod on her because wouldn't she? She has her Polaroid creative genius or creative specialist business card because of that one Kanye West meme. What does Lady Gaga know about cameras? And probably a coupon to some steakhouse. Because wouldn't she? Because wouldn't she?
Wouldn't she? Oh my gosh, this is the first interview. Like my neck is hot from laughing so much. This is wild. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you so much for participating in this word game. You have our folks cracking up. They are wilding out over here. Washoy, thank you. I can't thank you enough for dedicating your time to this interview, okay? So peace to you. All right, and I'm going to DM you a little bit later. It looks like, wow, they have a counter here, 1 minute and 49 seconds left. All right,
we can do it.
Let's go ahead and close it out. Everybody, y'all, make sure you follow Washoy and you support him in his ventures. Most definitely follow myself here. If you're just coming through browsing, click the link in my bio to subscribe, y'all, so you can see this full interview, all 58 minutes of it, okay?
Certainly.
All right, I'm gonna close out from this side, Washi, okay?
All right.
Well, take care.
Definitely. Bye, guys.
All right. Oh my God, my eyes. Okay, y'all, I gotta close it out. I got a countdown going on here. I got 1 minute left to talk. All right, so that was Washoy. He sends all his love. I'm sure we just have to kind of move it and close it out, okay? So make sure you follow him and follow myself if you're just browsing, okay, y'all? All right, subscribe on YouTube. Click the link in my bio. Peace from here to the far east. Oh, and one more thing. RTA stands for respect the artist all day, every day. Or they got to come through me, okay? You respect the artist. All right, peace, y'all.